when I think of a great example of a book that went through the traditional publisher, has to be the Harry Potter series, because it's like they just made history with so much sales. With this is a phenomenal story, and you know the story about J.K. Rowling's, that she was like writing in a coffee shop and she had a baby, and all these different stories about how she did it. And yet, if you kind of go back, there's actually more to the story. So I'm not going to go to how she wrote the book. That's a whole other thing. I'm going to just talk about the publishing part of it. So apparently with J.K. Rowling, what she did is she was smart. She knew she needed to get a gatekeeper on her behalf, somebody who would help her, a literary agent. So she applied to different literary agents, and she finally got one that would be willing to work with her. And she actually, the literary agent went to Bloomsbury, which is a publisher in the UK, because of course that's where J.K. Rowling is. And they started with just 500 copies. So like, you think of her books now and it's like, oh my God, she's a billionaire. She is literally an author billionaire. But back then she was an unknown. Nobody knew her. So even though she like got the literary agent, she got the publisher, they only went with 500 copies. So they really weren't convinced this was going to be good. And literally, I can think of the people kind of going in and saying, oh, we got a couple books. You want to give them a shot? Going to all these different bookstores in England. But of course, it took off. Now, here's kind of an interesting backstory. J.K. Rowling's. Do you ever wonder why she's J.K. Rowling's? Like, why do we not know her name? Her name is Joanne, by the way. It's Joanne Rowling's. And on the eve of publishing, the publisher went, I think we need to make a change to your name. And she was like, what do you mean make a change to my name? And they said, well, we don't think boys will want to buy from a woman. Who knows? That was the time, right? We don't think little boys would want to buy a book written by a woman. So we want it to be vague. So we want you to just do your first initial and your last initial or middle initial. Well, she didn't have a middle name. So she was just J. Rowling's. And it was just like, well, we got to have something a little bit more bunchier. So that she ended up taking her grandmother's name, Kathleen, and that's where the K came. So J.K. Rowling. So that's the story behind that.